Hi, I'm Curtis Christensen, Managing Director of the Los Alamos Program Management Office here at TechSource. TechSource is honored to have the opportunity to support Hilltoppers basketball. We are part of the lab's triad team working towards mission delivery, and we are part of the community right here, living the example that it is team that gets it done. To borrow some of the famous Coach Wooden's words, the main ingredient to winning is team. All the team. The players that listen, push, and focus during practice, the support from the bench, and those 5 on the court. Los Alamos is a special community. We count ourselves lucky to be able to have the opportunity to support its people, events, and organizations. Good luck today. Go Toppers.
Join the University of New Mexico Los Alamos for the exceptional education. Join us for the small class sizes. Join us for the quality faculty and staff who are dedicated to your success. Whatever your reason for joining us, start here, go anywhere. Go Hilltoppers.
Hi there, my name is Kristen O'Hara and I'm the Director of Interpretation at Pajarito Environmental Education Center. We are the nonprofit that runs the Los Alamos Nature Center. Bears are active in Los Alamos during spring, summer, and fall. New Mexico Game and Fish recommend the following 6 bear-wise basics to keep you and our bears safe. Do not feed or approach bears. Whether it's unintentional or intentional, feeding black bear in our community is incentivizing them to come into our residential neighborhoods for food. And we do not want to do that. They are wild animals. They're equipped for finding food themselves. Our people food is not the best thing for them. As far as approaching bears in the wild, it is best to stay away from black bear. If a black bear hasn't seen you and you happen to see one across the street from you, take a moment to have that beautiful experience, but do not approach a black bear. Make sure to secure your garbage cans and recycling. Bears have a very keen sense of smell and can rip open garbage cans very easily, so having them secured with some sort of bungee cord or something to keep the lids down is the best way to keep our bears in our community safe. Remove bird feeders during prime active bear times. Black bears in Los Alamos are active anywhere between the very end of April, May to the middle of November. So during those times, anything we can do to keep our bears safe by not giving them food is better for bears and better for us. So at night, for instance, at the Nature Center, we take down the bird feeders that we have outside and put them back up in the morning. So that is something you can do. But if you do have a bear at your house that has eaten from your feeders, make sure to take your feeders down for a length of time around 2 weeks, so the bear does not acclimatize to coming to your house for food. Do not leave your pet food outside. If you happen to feed your animals outdoors, put your food bowls out there, make sure your animals have your fill, but make sure you bring them in after your animal is done eating. That'll, again, keep the bears safe. Clean and store your grills. That means cleaning your grills thoroughly, removing all fat and food that could have dropped in the base of the grill, and then storing it in an inaccessible place, so a place the bears cannot get to, like a garage or even inside your house, if that's a possibility. I know not everybody has a garage, but just keeping in mind a good place to store a grill that is away from that can be away from bears accessing it. And I guess our last bear safety tip is to tell your neighbors, communicate with your neighbors and your friends about bears that have been spotted in the area, or these safety tips that you've learned here today. The more knowledge we can give to our neighbors and our friends, the better, and it will keep our bear neighbors and our human neighbors as safe as possible. Good luck, toppers, on your season.
Well, it's great to see Topper sports season kicking off again. I'm Troy Hughes. I'm the fire chief here in Los Alamos. And we're glad to see COVID kind of waning and people getting back to their normal activities. One of the things that hurt us during this time period was our lack of people. So we need recruits. We need cadets to come to work for Los Alamos Fire Department. It's a great career, very rewarding, good pay, good benefits, great retirement. You get to work out and maintain your Topper strength. So we're hoping that a few good people will come to work for us in the next year, and we hope that the Toppers win, so go Toppers.
Hello, I'm Deputy Chief Oliver Morris of the Los Alamos Police Department, and I just want to take a few moments of your time to talk about some safety initiatives that we want to bring forth to the community as the 2022-2023 school year starts in Los Alamos. School is right around the corner, and we want to remind parents and students to make sure that you leave enough time to get to school on time so we're not rushing. As you can see behind me, all school zones are 15 miles an hour when students are going to school, even if they're not present. So let's slow down and just make sure our students are safe. Secondly, I want to remind us that when the buses are stopped and their stop signs and lights are activated, we want traffic to stop in both directions to allow time for students to cross the street to keep them safe. The other thing I want to talk about is our school campuses. It's important to remember that during school, campuses are closed to the general public, as well as the playgrounds and facilities, while school is in session. This also includes Sullivan Field and the Sullivan Field parking lot. We want to make sure that school is meant for just school hours and school staff. Please check in with the staff regularly if you're going to be planning on visiting our campuses. We have a long history at Los Alamos to have amazing school resource officers. These officers are there to provide an atmosphere of safety and security for our students and faculty, but they're also there to foster positive relationships with students. So we use our school resource officers just to ensure that everything is safe in our schools. The other thing I'd like to direct our community to is on the losalamos.schools.net website. If you click on the Safety and Wellness section, you will see that there's the See Something, Say Something app. This app is a great tool to report anything that has to do with safety, whether it's bullying or whether it's a suspicious person on campus or anything you think is safety related for our schools. Please use this app to report any suspicious behavior so that we can work in concert with the Los Alamos Public Schools to make sure everyone is safe. And that's the final message that I have for you today, and I just want to make sure that we have a safe and fun school year, and go Toppers.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Griffith Gymnasium. The Hilltopper boys in action again after a wild game on Tuesday night against St. Pius. And tonight they're going to take on the Valencia High School Jaguars. Valencia, a school about 25 miles east of Los Lunas and way out there in the boonies, I tell you. And so, but anyway, they come here to Los Alamos tonight to take on the Hilltoppers. These two teams have met before as they met in the Capital City tournament, which was the other weekend. And Los Alamos came out the victor on that after defeating Espanola the day before. Then they took on Valencia for fifth place. I know that fifth place doesn't sound too good, but the thing is, you got to remember in those tournaments that if you get fifth place, you lose your first one, but then you got to win the next two. So it's a pretty impressive performance for the Hilltoppers. This is Gene Mortensen, along with my good buddy Mike Katko. Or Mike, sorry, Mike. Mike Mays. My son-in-law is Mike Katko. Anyway, my good buddy Mike Mays, and it's going to be our pleasure to bring her this ball game tonight between the Hilltoppers and the Valencia High School Jaguars. And so, like I say, Mike, the Hilltoppers have seen this team before, so it's not an unknown quantity for them. They should know what to expect and what the Jaguars are going to bring and what they're going to have to do to win this ball game again.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be, just saw this team a few days ago, and so the Jaguars, looking up and down their roster, not a huge team with one exception, and that is the 6'5" senior Ali Abdullah. And other than that, we don't see a whole lot of heights jumping out at you. The Toppers, not the biggest team either, but well played against a team actually quite a bit bigger than them 2 nights ago, and looked actually pretty good on the boards, looked pretty good keeping their big guys more or less in check. And the Toppers, of course, taking on St. Pius the other night. Really solid ball game, but Toppers coming up a little bit short. The Sartans winning that one by 4 points, 65-61, but that was a battle all the way around. The Toppers actually did have some chances in that ball game, especially late in the fourth quarter, but the victory did not materialize in that contest. But for the Jaguars coming in with a record of 1 win and 5 losses. So that 1 win, I guess, came in that tournament the day before Los Alamos played them. So in any event, the Jaguars coming out here, like I said, not huge. So we'll see what the Toppers want to do, what Benito Maestas wants to do. The Toppers, by the way, 2 wins and 3 losses on the season, and won a pair of beat Valencia, beat Espanola Valley in back-to-back games, and gave St. Pius a pretty good run for its money the other night. So the Toppers, we saw them first game of the season, a little bit shaky. Since that time, they have really started to come together a little bit. So this is going to be interesting. Can the Toppers do it again tonight? They should have a shot.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The other night against St. Pius, the Hilltopper boys had 18 three-pointers, and 8 of those three-pointers came from Josiah Frescas, and Frescas ended up with 24 points in that ball game as the leading scorer, but he was followed right behind him by Nico Garcia, who had 3 or 4 three-pointers, and he ended up with 20 points. And so right now, Maury Pongratz, the PA voice of Los Alamos, is reading all of the necessary, the commercial type things like be good people and drive carefully and all that kind of stuff we all have to be reminded of constantly. Anyway, And then we're going to have the national anthem in just a bit. But it should be an interesting ball game. The Hilltoppers won that first ball game against Valencia, and they won that one 50-43. So a 7-point victory for Los Alamos. And then just the other night, the Valencia took on Robertson and took that ball game to double overtime, and lost that in double overtime. About a very, very close, like 2 or 3 points, but they gave Robertson everything they could handle. So we'll see what happens here tonight with the Hilltoppers. They just finished the junior varsity contest, and the Hilltoppers had that one in the bag, and then they kind of handed it over to the Jaguars. We have the national anthem right now, so we'll take a break. Well, that completes the national anthem, and so right now they're going to be introducing the starting lineups for both of these teams. We'll have to pick those up as we go, so that starting lineup, of course, will come. Mike will pick up that starting lineup for us here in just a second. We'll get things as we get things underway. This should be a pretty good ball game tonight. There was a close battle down in Santa Fe, which is a neutral site for both of them. But here the Hilltoppers now have the home court advantage here. So they won the one ball game in Santa Fe by 7. So this should give them being at home should give them somewhat of a nice advantage. So the Hilltoppers, we'll see how they do tonight. They had a fantastic game against St. Pius the other night, as they just poured it in from the 3-point line. And so I don't know, you can live by the 3 and you can die by the 3. And so we'll see what happens. Interestingly enough, the very first game we did was against St. Pius. I said St. Michael's down in Santa Fe, and both teams, Santa Fe, St. Michael's and Los Alamos, shooting 3-pointers like crazy, and not even coming close. And finally, one of the young players for St. Michael's dropped one in. That was the only 3-pointer scored in that ball game. And we had 18 scored the other night. So, the starting lineups, Mike?
Yeah, I sure do. Starting tonight for Valencia, they will start 6'2" junior Damian Estrada. He'll be joined by Jordi Giron, the 5'6" freshman. Mariano Perea, a 5'9" senior. Richie Bach, you don't have a height on him. He's a senior. And then the 6'5" Ali Abdullah for the Toppers tonight. They will start Nico Garcia, 6' junior. Zach Morrow, a 5'11" sophomore. Ethan Mondragon, a sophomore. Rick Valdez, a 6'2" senior, and Josiah Frescas, the high point man for the Toppers the other night, 5'6" sophomore. And immediately we've got Abdullah at the foul line. And a quick foul going, that goes to Zach Amaro. Just 13 seconds into this ball game as Abdullah knocks in his first free throw and cannot get the second one to go. Rolls around, will not fall. Out of bounds to Los Alamos.
So it's the Jaguars won the toss and took it to Abdullah underneath, and he was fouled by Morrow, makes 1 point, one of the free throws, so it's a 1-0 ball game. And right now the Hilltoppers working around the 3-point line. They bring it out on top to Nico Garcia, back to Zach Morrow. Morrow dribbles to the right wing down the baseline, dishes it over into the corner. 3-point shot, rims around and comes off. That shot by Ethan Mondragon, and rebound comes down to the Jaguars. Jaguars moving the ball very fast and penetration to the basket, and it looks like this time that like Rick Valdez, I think, is going to pick up the personal. Yes, he was, and that's his first. That's a second team foul, and taking it to the hole and drawing the foul that time was Damian Estrada. Damian at the free throw line drops in the first, so that gives them a 2-0 lead, and so he'll shoot one more. No field goals, of course, have been scored. We only have 1 minute gone here in this ball game. And this one also drops in as it rolls around the rim and finally drops in. So the Hilltoppers bringing it up. No court, no press being put on by the Jaguars. They hand it now to Rick Valdez, and Rick got back to Zach Morrow. Morrow starts to penetrate, and now he gets it. There's a pass underneath. It's picked off. That pass by Rick Valdez, and that is picked off by the Jaguars. The Jaguars moving the ball. I mean, they move the ball very well. I mean, there's a lot of motion. Everybody's moving all the time, and a lot of quick passes. So the Hilltopper defense right now, the Hilltoppers in a matchup zone doing a good job against the Jaguars. They're going to try to bring it into Abdullah. Abdullah puts a shot up. It's off, and the rebound is going to come down to Rick Valdez, and he's going to be fouled. And over the back goes Damian Estrada. Estrada picks up his personal first team foul. So it'll be inbounded by Los Alamos under the Valencia basket. 3-0 ball game, 6:10 to go here in the first period as we just get started here. Josiah Frescas is going to bring it over onto the right wing. Out on top now to Nico Garcia. Garcia dribbling between the circles, and now he wants a screen. Almost ended up with a travel as he tried a hesitation dribble, and it didn't look. It wasn't a very good hesitation dribble in the corner. 3-point shot, good by Zach Morrow. The 5'11" sophomore, Mike, as they move the ball around. Good movement by Los Alamos, and they finally had Zach Morrow open on the baseline in the corner. They get it now out on top. It comes out now to Fernando Enrique. And the shot up is off. Rebound comes down to the Hilltoppers. Josiah Frescas bringing it up for Los Alamos. Josiah likes to penetrate, and in the corner goes right now. And boy, over to Ben McBride, the junior, and Bride puts it in from the same spot. That deep left corner, and the Hilltoppers take a 6-3 lead, and they're starting off just like they did the other night. 2 3-pointers already in this ball game.
And both from the same spot. As nice entry pass into Abdullah, and they're going to get him for a walk. So
yeah,
took
I don't
an
know
extra
about
step.
that.
Yeah, that was I didn't see the extra step there.
No, he didn't need to. He was wide open under the basket.
Yeah, but the basket waved off. But for the Toppers, really working that left side and got 3 really good looks on the 3-pointers from the left corner. Knocked 2 of them in, and the other one was just a hair off. So the Toppers, like you said, kind of picking up where they left off the other night against St. Pius.
So they're trying to get the ball underneath inside to Ben McBride and try to throw it through a lot of traffic. And it's deflected, and it goes off of Ben out of bounds. Full court pressed by Los Alamos. Up the floor they come, and they're going to get it now over to Richie Baca. Baca, he's going to put up the three-point shot, and it's good. Richie Baca with 3. So it's a 6-6 ball game.
A lot of quick ball movement by the Jaguars. Toppers, like you said, kind of playing a matchup zone, but are struggling they're scrambling a little bit to keep up. As Garcia puts one out from Steph Curry range.
Yes, absolutely. And another one from way out, taken by the Jaguars, and so fight for the rebound and a long pass down the floor by Los Alamos as they're trying to hit Josiah Frescas going to the basket. They overthrow him.
And just for a second there, we had kind of a track meet going on.
Yes.
And actually, it's probably good for the Toppers, even though they lost the ball out of bounds, just to have a couple extra seconds to reset. They were getting a little bit out of control there.
Yes, really. So they're going to set up that zone once again. So it's a 2-3 matchup zone. And with the ball is Mariano Perea. They get the ball coming right down the middle of the lane. That time was Damian Estrada. Misses an easy shot. Didn't put it up hard enough. He just got it up enough to just touch the rim. Skip pass comes across over to Zach Morrow. Ben McBride from the corner. From the other corner. This time it's an air ball. So he canned the one from the left side, but misses the one from the right side. 3:10 to go. 3-point shot from the corner. Wow. And so that by Mariano Pereira. So we have 4 field goals in this ball game, and all 4 have been 3-point shots. Skip pass is going to be stolen away by Carlos Tafoya. Tafoya gets the ball off the floor. Now to Mariano Pereira. Shot from way outside. Another 3-pointer. Richie Baca. The only one that scored a 2-pointer, of course, was Ali Abdullah, and that was waved off. But right now it's a 12-6 ball game. Nico Garcia on the dribble, gets it to Ben McBride. McBride on the left wing, on the dribble now, almost throws it away. Loose ball picked up by Josiah Frescas. 2 minutes to go, 12-6 ball game. Josiah with it, and he's going to put up the 3. His shot is blocked by Abdullah. So Josiah trying to shoot over the 6'5" Abdullah, and not so good. And now the Hilltoppers with the 3-point shot from the left corner. That one taken by Zach Morrill. That's off. Rebound comes down to the Jaguars. The Jaguars, let me say, they play a pretty upbeat offense, and so taking it to the hole this time, and actually hitting the floor. And that was going to be Damian Estrada as he went up to the shot. He was fouled by Ben McBride. That's Ben's first personal 13 foul.
That looked like a pretty clean block from McBride.
Yes.
And that was a pretty good stuff there. I didn't see much body contact. So as has been going on since the JV game, the second you make a mistake, you go out. And we've seen that from both teams so far.
Yes.
And so McBride's going to sit down, and he's getting a little bit of a talking to. And look, I thought that was a good block. I thought that was clean.
Yes, it was. And so, I mean, it's yeah, I know this. It's kind of this thing about you can stay in the ball game as long as you don't have a turnover.
We saw that in the
foul.
JV game. Both
yes.
teams, you do the smallest thing wrong, and you're on the bench, buddy.
Yes, you are.
We're going to start that here.
Josiah Fresca gets the ball, comes down in the right wing, cuts down to the baseline, pulls up a little 10-foot jumper by Josiah, and the sophomore puts it in for 2 to make it 13-8. 3-point shot from way out again. Josiah pulls down the rebound for the Hilltoppers. He'll bring it up. No press being put on. Josiah across the timeline gets it to Zach Morrow. Morrow, with under 1 minute to go here, Nico Garcia is going to take it to the hole, puts it up, but they're going to call no basket. What are they calling?
I don't know. I'm not sure what they called, but
they didn't indicate traveling or anything. And
no, we did not see an indication, but that was he quickly the official further away is the one that that called that one, and Benito was asking if he carried the ball or something, and I didn't see anything like that.
No, it looked like a normal drive to the basket, and Nico put it in, and then they just said no, waved off the basket. 30 seconds to go. Comes to Abdullah underneath. They'll bring it over to Richie Baca. Baca has the ball knocked away from him by Ethan Mondragon. He chases it down. He's standing on in the coffin corner at the half court line, all the way as far out as you can get into the corner, and the ball cranking down to 9 seconds, and now the Jesse Hathoot wants him to get going, and Josiah Fresca's trying to steal the ball away. 3-point shot taken by Abdullah. That's off, and that'll bring this quarter to an end, and boy, that was one fast quarter, I tell you. 8-13. As the Hilltoppers find themselves down by 5 after 1 quarter of play.
That was kind of interesting, right? The last play there, Estrada. I mean, yeah, he's over as far away from the basket as he could possibly have been, and he was just standing. I didn't think I thought he was going to wait too long to make his move, because it was about 6-7. It was under 7 seconds before he actually did anything.
Yeah, I don't understand it anymore either. When they do hold the ball like that, a lot of them you see go down to 5-6 seconds, and then they end up with absolutely no time to do anything. So
yeah, they did get the ball over to Baca, and Baca launched another 3. He's actually, and that's probably might be something Benito's talking about right now. He has had some pretty good looks every time he's gotten the ball, and he's knocked a couple of those down already. The Toppers really need to keep an eye on him, because he has plenty of range, and we've seen him shoot from 3-4 feet beyond the arc. So, and that really long one he took, that rattled around. That was not far from going down. Yeah, but we'll see if the Toppers want to do something. And I'm not seeing him I'm not seeing Baca get a whole lot of screens or anything like that. He's just kind of floating around and getting open.
Yes, he is. So in that first quarter, the Jaguars had 3 field goals. All 3 of those were 3-pointers. They were 4 of 6 from the free throw line. The Hilltoppers had 3 field goals, and 2 of those were 3-pointers, and no free throws for the Hilltoppers. Josiah Fresca gets it for Los Alamos, brings it over to Ethan Mondragon. Mondragon, 3-point shot by the 5-foot sophomore, and that closes the ball game to 13-11. So right now the Valencia Jaguars up by 2 on Los Alamos as they bring it across the tunnel. Skip pass comes across all the way across to Mariano Perea, back to Perea. Perea bounces it underneath as they were trying to get it. They're trying to get it inside to Abdullah, and Hilltoppers, though, they just flat prevented that. There was no way they were going to get it into her. So they bring it out, and they're going to start all over again as they have Mariano Perea dribbling around out on top over to Richie Baca. Baca is tied up by Los Alamos, and the Hilltoppers steal it away. So great job that time by Zach Morrow to come in as part of a double team and just steal the ball right out of his hands. Josiah Fresca from way out. Rebound comes down to Ethan Mondragon over to Nico Garcia. Nico takes it to the hole, and Nico's going to go to the free throw line. So we'll see who's going to pick up this personal, and it's going to go this time to Mariano Perea. Perea, that's his first. That's only the second team foul. 3 team fouls have been called on Los Alamos, 2 right now on Valencia. And Nico Garcia at the free throw line has no shot scored in the ball game yet. This is his first trip to the free throw line and drops in the first. So he can tie the score here. It makes it 13-12. And so in the ball game right now, let's see, we have some substitutions here, but We have Josiah Frescas, Nico Garcia, Ethan Mondragon, and Zach Morrow. Oh, and Kyle Evan, who's couldn't find Kyle. So anyway, Nico drops them both in. It's all tied up, 13-13. Ball comes up to Abdullah. Abdullah way out on top. 3-point shot from the left corner. And this one by Richie Baca. And Richie Baca now has 9 points and all 3-pointers. Hilltoppers with the 3-pointer. So it's going to be live by the 3 and die by the 3 so far. Comes down to Abdullah. Abdullah's going to take it to the hole, cut off. He gets it out on top. Another 3-point shot put up by Richie Baca. Rebound comes down to Josiah Frescas. Frescas brings it in the corner to Nico Garcia. Garcia goes down the baseline, brings it all the way out on top. 3-point shot taken from the top of the key. That time by Ethan Mondragon. That's off. 16-13 ball game right now.
Wow. So, yeah, obviously, I don't even know why they need anything inside of the circle right now. There's really no need for it.
No, it's the 3-point line has kind of ruined the old, what basketball used to be. It's not the same game at all anymore. I mean, a 15-foot jumper, you hardly ever see a 15-foot jumper.
That's a terrible shot. You're going to take a 15-foot jumper, take an 18-foot jumper. It's worth an extra point.
Yes, exactly. Comes now to Adam Madrid. Madrid will hand it out to Mariano Perea, back to Madrid. Madrid's going to penetrate, and Abdullah will take the 3-point shot. Fight for the rebound. That's going to come down to Nico Garcia. Garcia will bring it up for Los Alamos. Hilltoppers down by 3. 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Up to Ethan Mondragon. Now to Kyle Evans, who skip pass across over to Zach Morrow. Morrow going to penetrate in, has to dish it out. Hilltoppers are going to bring it all the way back out on top to Nico and start all over. Nico in a little bit of trouble out there in a double team, trying to get rid of it. He finally does get rid of it to Morrow, and over to Kyle Evans, who's puts the shot up. Rebound's going to come down to Ethan Mondragon. They get it now out on top to Morrow once again. Another 3-point shot by Morrow. This one is the rebound comes down. It's an air ball, comes down to the Jaguars and taking it to the hole, Adam Madrid. Boy, a nice move to the basket. So they just heaved it down to Madrid, and he just turned around and just headed straight to the hole from the right wing, and he drops it in, and he's fouled. And so that personal foul.
I'm not sure who that went to.
They're going to give it now to Josiah Frescas. So Frescas picks up the personal. That's his first. That's the 4th team foul. And 2 team fouls have been called on the Jaguars. And the attempted 3-point play by Madrid is off. So that makes it 18-13. Nico Garcia, 3-point shot. That's good.
Oh, wow.
Nico Garcia crosses the timeline, goes about halfway toward the 3-point circle, and lets it fly. 18-16 ball game. 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Out on top, taking his time dribbling, Mariano Perea. Hilltoppers still in that matchup zone. 3-point shot from outside. That's off. Nico Garcia going for the rebound and loses it and then steals it back. Now he gets it over to Ethan Mondragon, over to Josiah Frescas. Frescas is going to penetrate. He likes that little short jump shot from about 8 feet out in the middle of the lane. This one's off. Rebound comes down to the Jaguars. Jaguars up the floor in a hurry. In the corner it goes. Another 3-point shot on the way. Rebound comes down now to Enrique Tafoya, who's checked in for Los Alamos. And Nico Garcia once again. Whoa! I mean, from way. Wow! Did you see where that thing was shot from?
Wow, that was mackerel. A 25-footer and nothing but net for Nico Garcia. And he didn't even think about doing anything other than getting the edge of everything and then putting up. He didn't even. There was no hesitation on that shot, and that was a beautiful shot. So Garcia is he's obviously feeling it from very, very long range, and the Toppers take the lead here. That prompts a timeout by the Jaguars. Jesse Halfhoot wants to obviously talk that over. Now, this is going to be interesting. Both teams are going to have, the way both teams are, we're shooting from, that's really going to stretch out the defense. I wonder if that opens you up for penetration. I don't know if anybody's thinking about that right now, but it's going to be, it'll be interesting to see if anybody wants to do that.
So we're about halfway through, a little over halfway through the second quarter, and 9 3-pointers in this ball game so far by both teams. So they're working it around the perimeter. They bring it in the corner, 3-point shot. This is off. Rebound comes down to Kyle Evanhoose. Evanhoose will get it to Josiah Frescas. Frescas will bring it up for Los Alamos. Josiah with 2 points in the ball game, had 24 the other night. Nico Garcia gets it over to Kyle. Evanhoose back to Nico. Nico on the dribble, and he's defensive man. Defensive man. I think his defensive man has been watching the World Cup soccer.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. He was trying to flop.
I mean, wasn't exactly a flop. It was one of those ones flying backwards a couple of steps as he got mysteriously bumped.
Looked pretty serious from up here. Obviously a big soccer fan there. That would have done Cristian Ronaldo proud.
Yeah, it really would have. And we have a personal foul called against Enrique Tafoya away from the ball, and that's his first personal 15 foul. Abdullah tries to come down the baseline, but all over him right now is Enrique Tafoya, and Tafoya just knocks the ball out of his hands as he started to go down the baseline. Enrique now will check out, and we'll see if we can pick up the lineup for the Hilltoppers in a minute, but Jaguars will bring it in. They'll bring it out on top as they bring it out on top, and a 3-point shot bounces around forever. The rebound comes down now to, I believe, Ali Abdullah, and he's going to be fouled. He'll go back up and he'll shoot 2. Yeah, so it's going to be Abdullah. So the 3-point shot was up. Abdullah had good inside position, and the personal foul goes to Zach Morrow. That's his second. That's his 6th team foul. But Abdullah at the free throw line to shoot 2. He was there earlier in the quarter, and in the first quarter, he was 1 for 2 there. Misses this first one, and he only had 1 point in the ballgame so far, make it 2. And he ties it up at 19. So Isaiah Frescas will walk it up for Los Alamos with 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Comes to Zach Morrow on the right wing. Zach out on top. Ethan Mondragon. They'll rotate it over to Kyle Evanhoose. Evanhoose starts to penetrate, gets it to Ethan Mondragon. Mondragon's going to go down behind the basket and tries to come with a Michael Jordan shot back over his head. So
too much timber right underneath the basket, though.
Yes, a little bit. So they underneath it's going to go to Mondragon. And a good challenge for him. And to what are they? I guess they're called. Although 3-second violation has been called against Valencia. You don't see that much anymore.
No, you really don't. But Abdullah was camped pretty well in the lane.
Yeah, they don't even. I mean, nobody bothers to worry much about it because they fired a 3-pointer. And there it goes. And once again, whoa, Nico Garcia. And once again from the top of the key. And I mean, way away from the top of the key. And boy, he cans that one. And he has 3 3-pointers here in the second quarter.
And Abdullah was right in his face too. I don't know how he even knew where he was shooting at.
And he was way out there. He's right in the middle of the court and kind of halfway between the 10-foot line of the volleyball on the volleyball end of the volleyball striping, and about halfway between that and the top of the key. He comes up before they had a traveling violation called against the Jaguars. They get it to Nico Garcia, another 3-pointer. This one's good. Wow. And another 3-pointer from way out by Nico Garcia. And he did not score in the first quarter, Mike. And right now he has 14 points all in this quarter.
So I thought the Jaguars had called a timeout. And I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on
They
here.
stopped play. The Jesse Half, who jumped out of his seat. I was certain he'd called a timeout, and
that's what I thought
said
too.
No.
So it's 25-19. The Hilltoppers up by 6, and so taking it to the hole, coming in from the top of the key, cuts to his left, comes down the left side of the lane. And that is Mariano Perea, and he's fouled and this foul will go to Ethan Mondragon. That's his first personal 7th team foul. But Mariano Perea will be shooting 2 and drops in the first. Interesting, Mike. The Hilltoppers have not shot a free throw. That's the same thing that happened the other night against St. Pius. But right now, the Jaguars, this one's second one also up and in by Perea. So that makes it 25-21. The Hilltoppers up by 4 with 24 seconds to go first half. And it's been just a 3-point derby out here at Griffith Gymnasium as we crank down to 15 seconds. And Josiah Perescus, they double team him in the corner and goes to Mondragon. Mondragon's shot is blocked as coming in. They zipped it to the corner, but Carson Porter, 5'9" senior, was able to get over there in time, and he was able to partially block that shot. Hilltoppers will inbound it with 6 seconds to go. The Hilltoppers are going to have to fire it up. Nico Garcia fires it up at the buzzer. And this one comes off. So the quarter ends. The Hilltoppers take the lead. They were down by 5 at the end of the first quarter. They're up by 4 at the end of the half as they come up with a 17-point quarter to a 9-point quarter for the Jaguars. And boy, I mean, the Hilltoppers, let's see, Mike, had 1, 2, 3, 4. They have eight field goals, and 7 of those are 3-pointers.
Wow, just not. They've completely eschewed going anywhere inside the circle, and and boy, that last shot by Nico. You know why he missed that, Jane? He was too close.
Yeah.
Had he been in a step back, I think that goes in.
Yeah, really.
But Nico Garcia is firing, and he's firing from wherever he happens to catch the ball. No hesitation whatsoever, and big quarter for him in that second quarter. And the Toppers, obviously, they see something they can exploit out of the Jaguar defense, because they are just out there. They are just firing. There's no hesitation whatsoever to putting the 3-pointer up, and they've actually had some pretty decent looks. There was really only a couple of 3-pointers in that entire first half that were seriously contested, and one of them Nico Garcia made. That was with Abdullah just right in his face, and that was 22, 23 feet from the basket, and he put that in with no problem. But so really, obviously the Toppers, are feeling it from the outside, and they feel anytime they have some daylight, they're going to give it a shot. And so far, so good. But again, once again, as you've been saying, you live by the three, you die by the three. So if if you cool off from that range, that makes it quite a bit more difficult. So we'll see what happens.
And in that first half, the Hilltoppers came up with 8 field goals. 7 of those are 3-pointers, and so and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Interestingly enough, so 8 field goals, 7 of those 3-pointers, as they picked up 17 points in that second quarter and held the Jaguars to 9 points. They were down by 4, and they're down by 5 actually, and so they now go up by 4. So there's a 9-point turnaround for the Hilltoppers from the first quarter to the second quarter. The Jaguars, on the other side, they had, they picked up. In the field goal situation, they have 4. They have let's see, what is it? 5 field goals. 5 field goals and 5 field goals, and 4 of those are 3-pointers, and they are 3 for 1, 2, 3, 3 for 5 from the free throw line. So they were 3 of 3 from the field goals in the first quarter, and cooled off a little in the second quarter. They had 2 field goals. One of those was a 3-pointer by Richie Baca. Richie Baca has 9 points in the ballgame, all from 3-point line. And so for the Hilltoppers, they will give you the scoring here in a minute, but the upcoming schedule is kind of strange, Mike, because this is the last game for the Hilltoppers until a week from Tuesday, and so pretty good. So till a week from Tuesday, and the girls will play. The boys are going to go to Berlin, and the girls are going to play. Let's see, what is today? Today is the 8th, yeah. So they don't play until the 16th. So it's going to be, I guess it's the 16th, yeah. So anyway, but the boys go to Berlin and the girls play here against Berlin, and we'll do that girls game here. We have only done one girls game, and that was down at St. Michael's. Mike did that one all by himself. So,
yes, I did.
Yes, he did. And so anyway, and so in a minute, let's see, let me give you a chance here to kind of add things up, and Mike can give us a scoring here for the first half of play.
Oh, certainly. So Nico Garcia had the hot hand for really everybody, especially in that second quarter. Hit 4 3-pointers. He ends up with 14 points. He leads all scorers right now. As kind of a smattering for the rest of the team. Josiah Fresquez only with bucket. He had 23 the other night. Ben McBride with a 3, and that's not. We don't see Ben generally take a whole lot of 3-point shots, but he's got a 3-pointer. Ethan Mondragon has a 3-pointer, and Zach Morrow also has a 3-pointer. For the Valencia Jaguars, they were led by Richie Baca. Baca had 9 points, all of those from beyond the arc, and he likes, as we saw, he likes really just to catch and shoot, and knocked 3 of those down. He has 9 points. 5 points for Mariano Perea, and then 3 points for Damian Estrada, all 3 of those coming from the foul line. So Los Alamos with the hot hand here, and then Richie Baca has he's knocked down what he's had. He's had a couple of other looks. The Toppers on his last attempt actually were able to rotate over a little bit and get some pressure on him when he shot, but even that one wasn't that far off. That one rattled around and would not fall. So Jaguars putting everything up from beyond the arc, and yeah, I mean, this is amazing. Just 2 field goals in the entire first half from inside 3-point range, and everything else from long range, and that's that's obviously what Jesse Hathroot wants to do. He wants to shoot from long range. He actually tried to get the ball in a little bit in that first half to Abdullah, and did come away with an apparent basket. It's a nice drop step by Abdullah, but he was called for traveling, which I got to be honest, I didn't see the traveling.
No, he was wide open under the basket. I mean, he didn't have. All he had to do was catch the ball and put it in, which he did.
And then we had another weird traveling call over here on the toppers.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had kind of a mystery call. I don't even know if it was traveling or what it was because we never got a signal. But and then actually Garcia, I think they got a 2-pointer taken away from him as well, which for a violation that I didn't see.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But official all over the place with the officials so far. They've called a couple of things. They're calling these violations real tight, but down low they're actually letting them play pretty well. Not 5. Let's see, what was a foul count? 7 for Los Alamos, 2 for Valencia. Los Alamos might as well just get used to that. Obviously, they're gonna get a few whistles. Those have been at home. I mean, yes, on Tuesday, the foul count at the half was 8-2 in favor of Los Alamos.
And one of those was a technical against the bench.
Yeah, against the St. Pius bench. And there was actually only 1 foul on the floor by St. Pius. And the second half wasn't a whole lot different than that. I don't remember the exact final foul count, but it was about 8-2, I think, at one point in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was. So they so interestingly, and I'm kind of confused and everything because I'm sure that the next ball game is on the 16th, but that's a Friday. I thought the game was supposed to be this next Tuesday, but well, I'm sure the ball game's on the 16th. So anyway, we'll keep you all up to date anyway on that. And you can check the Daily Post. And I want to thank the Daily Post for making all this possible. Carol Clark coming to our rescue after the demise of KRSN. And we're able to put these on the YouTube, on the Daily Post YouTube channel. And we really do appreciate Carol Clark and her support of Los Alamos High School athletics.
I hear they have videos on YouTube as well, not just audio broadcasts.
That's right.
That's what I've heard. I should check that out.
Yes.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
we have John McHale and Nate Limbach, who are 2 of the other authors of this program that we have, or the way we do it. But anyway. And they take pictures, and then they've got it set up that they can immediately transfer the picture over to the YouTube channel immediately.
I have no idea how that's done, by the way. It's like I am not the technically most advanced person in the world. That's just amazing that'll pop up almost as almost in real time.
Yeah,
that's something else.
So we're ready to go here, and Valencia will bring it in to start things off. They get it to Abdullah. Abdullah is going to take it to the hole, and a little turnaround jumper. Nothing they could do but watch. And so Abdullah finally picks up his first field goal of the ball game. Interestingly enough, Josiah Frescas is heading in. He penetrates into the lane, comes right up against Abdullah. He tried to change his direction a little. He's called for a travel. 25-23 ball game right now as the Jaguars bring it up. They're going to get it over now to Mariano Perea. Perea out on top near the half-court circle. Going to go to the top of the key. Picks up his dribble over on the right side. He'll get it to Richie Baca. Ball is picked off by Josiah Frescas. And Frescas gets to Nico Garcia. And they've got Damian Estrada all over Nico. Comes out on top now to the Hilltoppers and to Rick Valdez. Valdez will get it to Nico in the half-court circle. So the Hilltoppers are way out. I mean, they're really spreading out that defense, but you'd think they were going to penetrate or something. But right now, they're just all playing in the perimeter. A man-to-man defense right now being put up by the Jaguars. Josiah Frescas brings it in the corner to Nico. Nico's going to take it to the hole. His shot blocked. Major rejection by Abdullah. Abdullah gets it down the floor and up to Richie Baca. Baca lays it in for 2. He now has 11 points, and it's all tied up.
A couple of nice fast break chances here by the Jaguars. They've run those very, very well. So the Jaguars obviously know what to do in transition. Those were a couple of nice fast break buckets that we've seen.
Zach Morrow with it, doesn't know what to do with it. Finally gets it to Nico Garcia, back to Zach. So Zach now will back out toward the timeline. Now getting some instructions from Benito Maestas. He gets a screen from Rick Valdez, tries to bounce it underneath to cutting to the basket that time. Ethan Mondragon actually threw it off the foot of one of the Jaguars.
And some officials would call that too as a kicked ball.
Yeah, it has to be deliberate. So they shot from way out, 3-point shot, and going for the rebound, and we should have a foul or either a foul or it's off of Valencia. They're going to say it's off of Valencia. So either Damian Estrada was going to be called for going over the back, or the ball was going to come off of him, which they do call. 25-25. Hilltoppers, we have 3 minutes gone here in this third quarter. Hilltoppers have not scored. Pass inside. It's picked off by Abdullah. Abdullah's going to take it down and just lay it in. So he picks it off right at the top of the key without any problem whatsoever. And then just an easy run down the floor for an uncontested layup.
Completely telegraphed pass. That was easy for Abdullah.
Whoa, and I mean, holy mackerel. Rick Valdez getting the ball going straight down the middle. And I mean, he crashed. I mean, and Richie Baca, to me, it looked like Richie was, he was just standing there. I mean, like he had great position. And Rick Valdez just plowed right into him. And they give Rick the basket and the free throw, and the foul goes to Richie Baca. And that is his first. That's the first team foul.
That was straight through the A gap for Valdez. Met the linebacker, broke the tackle. Just great effort. Kept his feet moving.
Boy, I mean,
that's what you want to see.
Oh my God!
All those tire drills that he did. That's where it pays off.
I mean, Baca was just. He was standing all the way under the basket, and boy, he just got leveled. And I could not believe they called that a blocking foul. But,
great, nice take there by Rick. But definitely not shying away from the contact there, Rick Valdez, and he gets a 3-point play.
4:40 to go here in this third quarter. It's 28-27. Hilltoppers up by 1. In the corner it goes, 3-point shot. This one's going to be off. Rebound is going to come down to Josiah Frescas. Frescas is going to take it down the floor all the way, puts it up, bounces around, and drops in. And a good shot that time by Josiah. He's 5'6", had to go high in the air, and he actually had to almost hook it because he was trying to fire it over the outstretched arms of Abdullah. But Josiah, who had 24 points the other night, had been fairly quiet tonight. He has 4. in this ball game. 2 in the first half and 2 now. Ball comes in now to Abdullah. Abdullah trying to cut down the. Abdullah brings it out to this time to Damian Estrada. Then cuts down the lane. They try to get it back to Abdullah, and the ball goes off of one of the Hilltoppers' legs. So they inbound it, and we're going to have a personal foul. And that one is going to go to Rick Valdez. That's his second. That is the first team foul. And at the free throw line is Damian Estrada. Has the 3 points in the ball game, all from the free throw line in the first quarter. So now he has 4. And he's 4 for 5 from the free throw line. He'll shoot one more. Makes it 30-28. He can close it to a 1-point ball game. Shot is up, bounces around and comes off. Rebound comes down to Nico Garcia. He'll hand it to Josiah. Pass up the floor. Comes down to Zach Morrow. Morrow going to bounce it underneath to, well, he tried to bounce. Well, he bounced it underneath to Rick Valdez. Valdez tried to bounce it right back to him. And pass goes awry and goes out of bounds.
Kind of hit him in the ankle. Tough pass to pick up. Wow. And a whistle there on Valencia. That's going to go the other way.
And that's going to go to Ali Abdullah for.
That was away from the ball. I'm not sure what happened, but that wasn't even close to the ball.
No, it wasn't at all. So something away from the ball. Nico Garcia with it. 30-28. Hilltoppers have scored 5 points so far in this quarter. Comes now to Ethan Mondragon. Mondragon will get it out on top to Rick Valdez. Valdez is going to make a nice little penetration, puts up a little short jumper from the left of the lane. That is off. Rebound comes down to the Jaguars. The Jaguars up on the floor in a hurry. They're going to bounce it over, and Richie Baca. And that's his 14th point and his 4th three-pointer. And the Jaguars take the lead, 31-30. In the corner, it goes to Mondragon, and we're going to have a traveling violation called against the Hilltoppers.
And that's your favorite call there, Gene.
Yes, absolutely.
The good old New Mexico shuffle.
Yes, the New Mexico shuffle. You fake one direction and come back the next. It doesn't matter whether you travel or not. The referees in New Mexico are going to call that every single time. Doesn't matter whether you've actually traveled or not. Once you make that motion, that's it. So trying to decide whether to put the shot up that time was Richie Baca. Finally does. Rebound comes down to the Jaguars. The Jaguars going to bring it over now back to Baca. Baca is going to dish it over now to Fernando Enrique. And Fernando Enrique puts it in for 3. And so that makes it now 34-30. Josiah Frescas penetrating right down the middle of the lane, but he's fouled. Well, he fouled before he even started the dribble. And that personal foul goes to Carson Porter, but that foul occurred clear out by the half-court line. Now taking it to the whole lane, Kyle Evanhus. Wow, nice move by Kyle Evanhus. He got it on the right wing, took it to the hole, and got the ball high up in the air over his head, and then just let it float right off the backboard. So Kyle Evanhus picks up his first 2 points of the ballgame. Pass underneath goes to Ali Abdullah, and he's fouled. He'll go back to the free throw line. And that personal foul is going to go to Kyle Evanhus, which is kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting because Kyle's one of the shortest guys out there, and Abdullah's the tallest kid out there. But anyway, Abdullah is going to go to the free throw line and shoot 2, and he drops in the first. So right now he has 7 points in the ball game. He scored 2 free throws in the first half. Did not score from the floor. And right now he has scored 2 field goals in this quarter, and he's going for another free throw. So he makes it 36-32 with a minute and a half to go here in the third quarter. Josiah Frescas. And bring it out on top to Nico Garcia. And the Hilltoppers scoring has really slowed down here. Nico's going to take it to the hole. This is off. Gets it to Ben McBride. And McBride with the three-pointer. And that's the second three-pointer of the ball game for the junior Ben McBride. Makes it 36-35. Nice looking shot from that left corner. That's the same place Ben made it for previously. We're down to 1 minute to go. We're going to bring it out on top now to Mariano Perea. Perea gets a screen, still on the dribble, starts to go, dishes it off. Ball's going to come now to, whoa, they didn't even need to foul him. There's no way in the world he was going to make that shot. But Carson Porter takes it to the basket, slams it off the backboard. He had no chance at all to make that shot, but he was fouled. And that's the only thing that saved him. And that personal foul goes to Ben McBride. That's Ben's second personal. That is the third team foul on Los Alamos. And 3 team fouls have been called on the Jaguars also. So Porter at the free throw line. He make both of those. So Carson Porter drops in both his free throws to make it 38-35 with 35 seconds to go. Josiah Frescas gets a screen from Ben McBride, trying to penetrate, can't. Going to get it now to Kyle Evanhus. McBride, 15-footer, good. Wow. Standing right on the free throw line. So McBride got the ball. He was posted up right smack on the free throw line. I mean, completely. And he just a nice little beautiful 15-foot jump shot. And we're going to have a reach-in foul go to Los Alamos. That one's going to go to Ethan Mondragon, and that's his second. And that is the 4th team foul on Los Alamos. 20 seconds to go. Here in the third quarter, 1-point ball game. 38-37. Valencia up by 1 on Los Alamos. Valencia on the dribble. They're going to bring it over now to Richie Cook underneath to Abdullah. Abdullah skip pass out across. Carson Porter takes the shot. Rebound comes down. This time to Damian Estrada. Wide open under the basket. He puts it up, rolls around, and drops off at the buzzer. So that makes it now 38-37. The Hilltoppers down by 1 after they were up by 4. So the Hilltoppers come up with 12 points, and the Jaguars come up with 17 for the quarter.
Wow, back and forth ball game here heading into the fourth. Boy, this game is not lacked for any excitement tonight. Just that both teams really, we've seen both of them being able to crank up the offense in spurts, and Los Alamos, the Jaguars rather took the first part of that third quarter. Los Alamos hit a couple of big shots to stay right there, but Jaguars really, they had a nice series right there at the end. Did not come up with any points, but that was a pretty good series for them. So, yeah, just both teams just really trying to crank up the offense. We did see a couple of nice defensive plays on both ends as well. But, yeah, this has been an entertaining game so far. We'll see what Los Alamos wants to do here in this fourth quarter. They will get the ball to start things off. Josiah Frescas at the timeline. And yeah, Jaguars kind of really like this man-to-man defense.
Yeah, they really do. And the St. Pius played man-to-man against Los Alamos the entire game the other night. Kyle Evanhus, 3-point shot by Kyle. So the sophomore puts in the three-pointer from the right side from the right wing, and gives Los Alamos a 2-point lead, 40-38. And so trying to answer back, and he does. And that is Richie Baca. And so that's his fifth three-pointer of the ball game, and he answers back to make it 41-40. Josiah Frescas on the dribble over, and Mondragon, Zach Morrow puts up a three-point shot. Long rebound comes down to the Jaguars up the floor in a hurry, and Richie Baca up and in once again. So Richie Baca, that is his sixth three-pointer of this ball game, and it opens up the lead to 44-40.
Boy, and Baca was set up kind of in his favorite spot and beat the defense down, beat the Topper defense down, had a wide open look, and goes nothing but net on that. And Baca, boy, oh boy, you just, if he has an opening, he is, he is really, really dangerous from that spot.
Well, he just got the ball. He was completely set up, nobody around him. He just took his time, didn't rush anything, just looked very, very relaxed out there. He just took his time and dropped it in. So 44-40 is the score right now. The Hilltopper is down by 4. Interestingly enough, Mike, the Nico Garcia has not scored in the third quarter and has not scored so far in this quarter. So he's not scored in this half after scoring 14 points in the second quarter.
And then I think a lot of that has to do with Damien Estrada for Valencia. Like we said, the Jaguars have been playing man-to-man pretty much this entire half, and Estrada has been all over Nico Garcia. And Nico hasn't even had a ton of touches here in this second half.
No, he hasn't. Estrada's done a fantastic job on defense against him. Hilltoppers will inbound it. Coming out of the timeout, they get it to Josiah Frescas. Frescas will bring it now to Kyle Evanhoose. Evanhoose on top to Zach Morrow. Morrow pulls up at the 15-foot line. And Nico Garcia gets one from the left wing. Has to use the backboard, but that still counts. And so he now has 17 points. It's a 1-point ball game once again. Taking it to the hole. And they're going to call Ben McBride for a foul. And Ben said, looking around, I didn't touch him. And Ben is completely right. He did not.
Well, that's going to be McBride's third foul, and all three have been very, very iffy.
Well, that was terrible.
No, that looked like a really, really good defensive play. And actually, for the Jaguars, Perea, that was a good take, and he got it to fall. He completely muscled that up because McBride had a really good defense against him.
He really did, and he completes the 3-point play.
But Ben gets the call, and of course goes immediately to the bench because that's how you do it.
Yes, exactly.
You do not make mistakes.
You want to stay in the game? Play a perfect game. Nico Garcia double teamed right now. And so he finally picks up his dribble. It gets over to Josiah Frescas. Frescas 3-point shot. This one is off. Rebound is going to come down to the Jaguars. Long pass down the floor. Wide open on a breakaway was Fernando Enrique. Fernando Enrique. And we're going to how do we have a foul on that? Personal foul goes to Josiah Frescas. My God, I can't believe there's a foul on that. I mean, he was so wide open.
Well, when he elevated, Frescas reached out his arm and made contact with him. It wasn't a lot of contact, but the officials are going to call it every single time.
Yeah, so Enrique completes a 3-point play. But my golly, to foul somebody on a shot like that, 3-point shot by Los Alamos. That's good. Kyle Evanhoose. So Evanhoose now, that's his second 3-pointer of this fourth quarter. 4-point ball game, 50-46. 5:25 to go. Damien Estrada, Richie Baca puts his shot up. Abdullah gets the rebound over in the corner. Once again, a three-point shot. This one by Carson. This one up by Richie Baca. That one is off. Rebound comes down to Nico Garcia. Garcia going to get in a nice move to the basket this time. Whoa, rolls around and comes out, but a beautiful move into the lane that time by Rick Valdez as his shot rims around and comes off, but he's going to shoot two, and that personal foul is going to go to Ali Abdullah. That is going to be his second and the fourth team foul. And at the free throw line, Rick Valdez for Los Alamos trying to cut this to a 2-point ball game. Puts in the first. That gives him 4 points in the ball game. So the 6'2" senior ready for shot number 2, and this one is good. 2-point ball game.
So the reason Rick did not make that into 3-point play is that he didn't really hit Abdul as hard as he could have. You know, you saw the last one. That was just plowed into his defender and got the call. Should have done that again. I don't know why he didn't.
Yeah, really. And so right now we're going to have now crashing into this time into Rick Valdez. And so a little payback here. And so Damian Estrada is going to go to the free throw line. He's going to shoot 2. And let's see. And Rick Valdez is going to pick up his third personal. First shot rims around, hangs on the front of the rim, and then drops off. That personal foul went to Rick. That's his third. That is the 7th team foul in Los Alamos. This shot also off. Now we're going to have a lane violation called against Los Alamos.
That was the right call
on a missed free throw.
I think Valdez stepped in a little bit early. That was the correct call.
So Estrada once again. This time he drops it in. So he 1 for 2. We're going to have a timeout taken here, I think, by Benito. Let's see what they indicate. Or they go. No, it's going to be the Jaguars, and they're going to take a 30. So the Jaguars take a 30-second timeout, and each team has 3 timeouts left. But so right now it's a 51-48, a 3-point ball game, and the 3-point shooting has cooled off a lot for Los Alamos. They had 1 in the third quarter, but they do have 3 3-pointers in this quarter, and the Jaguars who picked up 2 in the second quarter, and they have 2 more from Richie Baca in this quarter. So the 3-point shooter they're still firing from outside, but I don't know. It just isn't the old basketball of old where you used to see everybody just wasn't gunning all the time. So the nice move to the basket, and we're going to have taking it to the hole that time, or taking it down the lane that time was Zach Morrow, and then he dished it off over in the corner to a wide open Ethan Mondragon, and they call Zach for the personal foul.
Boy, that was your classic World Cup flop. Boy, oh boy, very little contact there, and the Jaguar ends up on the floor.
So the pass is picked off by Rick Valdez up the floor. He gets it almost overthrows Zach Morrow, and Rico's going to bring it down the baseline, puts the shot up too short. And Rico's pretty good at that little floater, but he just didn't float it high enough. So it comes off the front of the rim. They dish it underneath to Abdullah. It is stolen away by Rick Valdez. So he just stuck it in there. The ball came to him and to Abdullah at the same time. And Rick just ripped it out of his hands. Kyle Evanhoose with it for Los Alamos. Brings it out, and they work it over onto the left wing, down in the corner. And now they're going to call, there's the old New Mexico shuffle again. And they're going to call that on Kyle Evanhoose.
Boy, oh boy. And he had daylight to the basket as well. Just And again, that is everywhere else, that is a perfectly legal move to fake one way and go the other. But every single time you're going to get that call.
Absolutely.
That without fail. I have never seen an official fail to call that. And Estrada was on the post on the right side. Abdullah actually trying to cut down from the baseline, but Estrada threw the ball back to where he thought Abdullah was going to be, but he wasn't there.
Yeah, he threw it where Abdullah was.
not where he was going.
But where he was no longer. Under 3 minutes to go, 3-point ball game. Comes to Nico Garcia. Damon Estrada all over him. They bring it now to Zach Morrow. Morrow's going to penetrate in. In the corner it goes to Ethan Mondragon. And now Morrow, 3-point shot. That rims around and comes off. Rebound comes down to Uzziah Frescas. Frescas turns around and lays it and shoves it back in for Los Alamos. 6 points now for Uzziah. And it's a 1-point ball game, 51-50 with 2:25 to go.
What a play by the sophomore. Just able to put that one back and put the Toppers within a point here with 2.5.
Well, it looks like Jesse Hadhu's going to try to take the air out of the ball. So right now they're spread out there in 4 corners. They have Abdullah in the free throw circle. Other than that, they're letting Damian Estrada do most of the dribbling. He's going to finally pick it up and then get it over to Mariano Perea. Perea has the ball knocked away from him by Josiah Frescas. So Frescas almost picks his pocket, but the ball goes out of bounds off of Josiah.
And here's always the question when the team goes into four corners. You know, at what time do you actually foul? Oh boy, right there. Perea put a pretty good forearm into Frescas' chest.
Yes, he did. So we're going to have a timeout. Let's see, what are they calling here? Full timeout taken by Valencia. So Valencia takes a full timeout.
But again, at what time on the clock do you actually decide, I guess we better foul?
Yes.
And we've seen more than once teams wait too late for that. Now, it's still a 1-point ball game, so the Toppers do have some time to see if they can force a turnover, which they almost did with Josiah Frescas knocking the ball away momentarily. And I think that was Perea that had the ball, and I got to say, Perea actually went after the ball like he was worried that he touched it last.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did.
And I think he was, if he didn't touch it, he was very, very close to touching it. But in any event, with that's just a question. Do you want to foul now? Do you want to and have time to do something? Do you want to foul later? See if you can knock the ball away. But still, 1:37 remaining. Still with 1 point, the Toppers can go either way with that. But I always worry about teams, waiting too long to actually start fouling.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And especially nowadays, a lot of coaches, I know some coaches don't even foul. Everybody in the crowd yelling, foul them. So they're going to call. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
They're going to call Zach Morrow for a hand check.
Unbelievable.
It was just, he just kind of put his palm on him with zero pressure whatsoever.
No, none whatsoever.
And they're going to call that. That is unusual. Now, well, the good news on that, this is a 1-in-1 chance, unfortunately, for the Toppers. Perea at the free throw line makes the first. Puts the Jaguars up by 2 and gets the shooter's roll on that one. 53-50 ball game, 1:20 remaining.
So 3-point ball game once again. Nico Garcia is going to take it down the lane, puts it up, rebound is off. And what are they calling here? I guess they're going to call a foul on the shot. So that'll put Nico at the free throw line. Nico right now with 17 points in the ball game, and he's going to shoot 2. So he can cut this to a 1-point ball game again with 1:15 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Nico Garcia at the free throw line puts that one in. That makes it now 53-51. And right now, 75 seconds left in this contest. Nico Garcia, second shot. That's good. 1-point ball game. And timeout are going to be taken by Benito Maestas. And Benito now has 2 timeouts left. Both teams with 2 timeouts, with 2 full timeouts right now. And so
we could be here for a while.
Yeah, we could. 53-52. Unbelievable. So it's a 1-point ball game, and unfortunately for Los Alamos, that they could have done earlier, Mike, was if they did have somebody they wanted to foul, since it wasn't going to be a 1-and-1, it would have been nice if they could have picked out somebody that wasn't going to be dropping him in like crazy. And let's see, Ali Abdullah, let's see, he actually is, he was 2 for 4 in the first half, and he's 2 for 2 here in the second half. So nobody here looks like they're a very poor free throw shooter.
Yeah, and unfortunately, and I know this is your absolute favorite rule, is the 10 foul rule.
Oh God!
You just won't stop talking about it, just how great it is, and it gets a little old, frankly. But
yeah, sorry.
But the Toppers will give the Jaguars 2 shots if they elect to foul here. Toppers with a little bit of full court trap here.
Yes. So they bring it up to Abdullah. Abdullah down in the corner, and they bring it out on top. And so pass comes over to Fernando Enrique. Enrique, with under 1 minute to go now, Enrique will bring it over to Richie Baca. Baca trying to get around Kyle Evanhus, bumps into him. So and the Hilltoppers trying to get the foul. And so finally they're going to give it to Kyle Evanhus.
Evanhus was trying to draw the foul against Baca, and Baca gives up the ball, and he gets called for fouling Estrada. And actually, I don't know that was a foul.
No, I don't either.
That looked like a pretty good defensive play. And Estrada drops in the first. And we've seen, I don't know how many times we've seen this. You're actually trying to foul a guy, and the official won't call it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's classic. This one rims around and comes off. 2-point ball game. 54-52. 44 seconds to go. Hilltoppers down by 2. Hilltoppers with 2 timeouts. 10 personal fouls called against Los Alamos. 5 against the Jaguars. Zaya Fresca is going to take it to the hole. Drops around and comes off. Rebound comes down to Kyle Evanhus. Evanhus goes up. And Ali Abdullah with a perfect block. Absolutely perfect. Standing flat-footed with his arms straight up in the air. And Evanhus put the ball right into his hands, and they call Abdullah for the foul. Unbelievable.
That was as clean as could be.
So at the free throw line, Kyle Evanhus blows the first. I shouldn't say blows. Misses the first one. So he's going to shoot one more. 31 seconds to go. And right now it's a 2-point ball game. Kyle could have tied this thing up. But right now, 31 seconds on Evanhus shot. This one up and in. To Kyle. And so we're going to have a full timeout taken by Benito Maestas. Oh, it's a 30. I didn't realize he had a 30 left. So that means he's got, I believe, 1 full timeout. left, and the Jaguars with 2, but right now it's 54-53. 1 point ball game as Kyle Evanhus was able to took it to the hole. He actually, they called a foul on Ali Abdullah, which was a highway robbery, but anyway, Abdullah, but Kyle goes to the line and makes 1 of 2, so it's a 1 point ball game. 54-53. 31.2 seconds to go. The Jaguars will inbound it under the Hilltopper basket.
Next action.
And the Hilltoppers will come out in that trapping press.
When the Hilltopper girls will play.
So the situation is, if they foul the Jaguars will shoot 2. Worst foul in the worst rule in the entire that they ever put up in basketball. Long pass comes down the floor to Abdul. They're still in the backcourt. They finally get it across. Stolen away by Josiah Frescas, but just before the steal, a timeout called by the Jaguars. So Jesse Haddoot, realizing they weren't going to get it across in 10 seconds, so he calls a timeout.
Yeah, that was about 9.5 seconds when Haddoot jumped up to call the timeout. And that was a good timeout. And again, a little unfortunate for the Toppers. They had that very well defended, and we're going to come up with a steal on that. You know, worst case scenario, if there wasn't the 10-second call.
Yeah, really. So if they'd thrown that about a second sooner, Josiah would have picked that one off. But anyway. So it's still a 1 point ball game, 54-53. And the ball will be inbounded by the Jaguars in the backcourt, not under the basket, but in the backcourt. And they're going to inbound it, I do believe, right in front of the Hilltopper bench. So the Hilltoppers will come out in that trapping press. They've got Rick Valdez and Kyle and Rick Valdez and Nico Garcia and Ethan Mondragon and Zach Morrow and Josiah Frescas out there for Los Alamos. 17 seconds to go. And finally, so then Zach Morrow now fouls. Rick Valdez picks up his 4th personal. So that is his 4th. That is the 11th team foul on Los Alamos. But and going to the free throw line is going to be, let's see, that's Mariano Perea. And Perea puts in the first.
So regardless of what happens on this free throw, it's only going to be at worst a 3-point ball game. So the Toppers will still have enough time to do something. 15 seconds left on the clock.
Perea's second shot also good. 3-point ball game. 15.2 seconds. And the Hilltoppers will inbound it, and they will have the opportunity to put up the 3-point shot.
They've been so reluctant to do that in this ball game, though. I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, they've been a little bashful about that 3-point shot, so we'll see. They're going to have to pull it out this time, though. Whether they want to or not, they're going to have to shoot that 3.
So 15 seconds left on the clock here, and assuming the Toppers haven't made a move to put anybody else in, so I'm assuming the 5 that were just on the floor are going to be there. Fresquez is a good, is a good long-range shooter. Morrow's hit a couple, but I got to think they're trying to drop a play to get Nico open, and Nico can hit from just about anywhere on that side of the floor. So we'll see what happens, but.
Well, Kyle Evanhus is sitting down, and he's been pretty hot from the 3-point line. He has 2 in this quarter already, but so we're going to have a little poke and pressure being put on by the Jaguars. They're going to have one man come up to go against the dribbler. Now he's going to drop back. Josiah Frescas comes across the timeline. We're down to 8 seconds to go. Nico Garcia, three-point shot from way out. And I mean way out. The ball's on the floor. We have a battle for it. I think it's going to be a jump ball. And the alternating possession will go to Valencia.
Oh, boy.
Unbelievable.
And
one.
I know that Nico is he's not afraid to put that up, but that can't be the shot that they were hoping to get out of that.
No.
That was he was moving away from the basket, and that was from pretty long range as well. That was not a great look for Nico.
No, it really wasn't. And but he's made crazier shots than that.
He has. That is true.
1.7 seconds to go is a three-point ball game, and the Jaguars have it out underneath the Hilltopper basket. And most likely Los Alamos will foul, but that's a waste of time. 1.7 seconds. What do they put? 2/10 of a second on the clock. Well, let's see. 2.8.
2.8. And actually adding a little bit of time, I think, is right. We'll see. So the Toppers will foul immediately.
Yes, they will. Now they.
So 1.7 seconds remaining. I think that's what we originally had on the clock. 1.7. So 56-53 ball game as. So Pereira's going to go to the foul line. If he hits either one of these, the game's over. And it's going to be a long shot at best for Los Alamos. And again, the ball getting to the shooter at the free throw line and the foul and the timeout awarded. I don't like that at all.
What's that again?
Pereira was given the ball to shoot, and then the timeout was awarded. I don't like that.
Oh yeah, no, that's right.
No, that should not be the call. The timeout needs to be called before the shooter gets the ball.
That's right.
In reality, protocol wise, I guess you can say the ball is in play when the shooter gets it.
Yes.
Because, and a lot of people don't know this, you can actually travel.
Yeah, you
can.
Be
called for traveling while you're shooting a free throw.
That's right. Yes,
and several other things. So the ball is technically in play. I don't like that at all.
No, they don't. And so, well, interesting, Mike. They're going to send Mariano Pereira to the free throw line. He was 2 for 2 in the second quarter. And in this quarter, he's 5 for 5. He's 7 for 7 for the ball game. So and right now he's at 7. Let's see, 5, 7, 12 points so far. But he's going to shoot 2, and he's deadly. So Pereira will put up the first, and he misses.
The old Gene Mortensen kibosh strikes again.
It got him. Yeah. And misses this one also. Nico Garcia.
Oh, Garcia launches a baseball shot. It actually hit something on the rafters, and it died right at half court. So
I cannot believe Pereira missed both of those free throws.
Yeah, he missed both of them. So desperation shot, but that clangs off, I think, a speaker or something hanging off the ceiling, and no miracle three-pointer tonight. So the Jaguars escape here with a 56-53 victory. Wild ball game this evening. What a battle. First from the arc, and then just both teams just going at anything they could do in that second quarter, or that second half rather.
Number 21.
But the Jaguars really clamped down on defense from beyond the arc, and and Nico Garcia, who just couldn't miss in that first half if he wanted to, just was really blanketed in that second half by the Jaguars' Damon Estrada, and that was it was really tough sailing for Nico in that second half. Did have a 3-pointer in that fourth quarter and hit a couple of foul shots, but just did not have the kind of looks that he'd had anything close to what he had in that first half. And that was really due in large part to Estrada playing man-to-man defense against him pretty much that entire second half. And the only 3-pointer that Nico was able to hit in that fourth quarter was actually when Estrada he rotated down to the lane. I think that was Rick Valdez that had actually penetrated in the lane. So Estrada was going down to help him on the double team, and Nico got away from him. But that was about it for Nico. So really great defense there by Estrada, and that kind of made the difference in this ball game as the Jaguars come out to Griffith Gymnasium and steal the victory. But it was just a really, really great game this evening, and a lot of fun to watch. And both teams just kind of fighting tooth and nail, and really, really entertaining contest. But unfortunately, we had a really entertaining contest the other night against St. Pius, but unfortunately for Los Alamos, they come up short in both of those contests. By the way, we got the scoring here for you. Richie Baca, boy, what a night he had. He ends up with 6 3-pointers. He ends up with 20 points in the ball game. I was actually wondering, Gene, Richie was on the floor during the final minute or so of the ball game. He had not shot a free throw the entire game. I was wondering if he wasn't maybe the one that they could have targeted to try to foul and get him to the free throw line. And again, 15 feet away, maybe that's too close for him. I don't know, but I don't know, but anyway, Baca ends up with the game high 20 points, and boy, in that kind of on that left wing, he is just absolutely 100% deadly. So he leads the Jaguars to the victory tonight. Also for the Jaguars, Mariano Perea, who just could not miss a free throw until Gene was gushing about him. He ended up with 12 points for the Jaguars. For Los Alamos, they were led by Nico Garcia. He ended up with 19, 14 of those coming in the first half. 9 points for Kyle Evanhus. Nice game for Kyle, by the way, on both ends of the floor. Made a couple of nice defensive plays as well. And 8 points for Ben McBride. Hit a couple of 3-pointers in this ball game, and had a pretty good stroke from long range.
Yeah,
that was pretty impressive. So
first time I've seen Ben shoot from 3.
Yeah, but it looked like he knew what he was doing. So,
yes.
6 points for Fresquez tonight, 5 for Rick Valdez, including a 3-point play, and 3 points for Morrow and Ethan Mondragon, both of those coming from beyond the arc. So for the Toppers going down this evening, 56-53. A couple of entertaining ball games so far, just unfortunately for Los Alamos, just not able to cash in either one of those and pick up the victory. But entertaining week of basketball.
Oh yes, absolutely good fun game on Tuesday night. Another good fun game here tonight. Both teams played very well, but it was interesting though because Jesse Hatt, who had made the right adjustment to put Damian Estrada on Nico Garcia, because Nico just lit it up in the second quarter, 14 points, and then he was held to 5 points for the entire second half, and ended up, of course, like Mike says, with 19. But he was just hot as a pistol in that second quarter, but he just wasn't getting. He was getting the opportunities in the second quarter, but he wasn't getting hardly any opportunities in the second half. So Mike, as far as I know, I think the next ball games are going to be on a week from Friday, week from tomorrow, the 16th. I'm pretty sure that's the schedule. But the boys go to Berlin, and Berlin girls come here. So, well, we'll do the Berlin girls game. We've only done one girls game. So, anyway, so that's going to do it for us. And so Carol Clark, and for Mike Mays and myself, and for John McHale and Nate Limbach, and for Charlene back at her fancy studio, we want to say hope you enjoyed the ball game, and final score 56-53, and have a great weekend, everybody. And you can even make it a better weekend. All you got to do is put a little